Kind of mad at myself for missing the last week, but my recording software failed me and I was moving. It's a Speedpaint this week, as Minecraft was very unhappy about the internet's lack of existence. I've never had a problem with the lack of internet before I migrated, but now it just doesn't do play offline without internet. It just says play demo, which is frankly disappointing. It's not like I'm not signed in. It's very clearly acknowledging I'm signed in, but it refuses to let me play the game I own. Ramblings aside, this took me about 3 hours to draw, including the vague sketch and original random doodle that inspired it, and that I continued into a proper doodle. But hey, the software crashed partway through twice. I'm assuming it crashed before the end because it finishes before I finish doing it, which is annoying. The art program I used is Creator, which is free and open source, and the recording software uses OBS. I may have said ramblings aside, but bear with me in my ramblings about the sheer nonsense that's gone down in my life. So I recently moved, and part of that involves getting internet, gas, water, and all that stuff up and running. Wonderful, I go. Everything's set up. Everything is working. Sure, the internet provider was a bit tedious, but it's going to be set up later than we'd like, and it's going to be set up later today, and sure, it's later than we'd like, but it's all good. In fact, let's call this internet provider TacTac. Now, it's worth knowing that TacTac worked with the company I'm calling Reach Open. Now, neither of these are their real names, but if you know the companies, it should be obvious. So TacTac is meant to send Reach Open to the house to install everything, as this house I'm renting is pretty old and needs some installing. I'm not an electrical engineer, this isn't my field at all, so I don't know exactly the problem, but that's not relevant to the story. As the day they're meant to turn up comes and goes, no one turns up. Wonderful. Something's wrong. We send a message to Reach Open and they go, we'll call you. Neat, okay, this will be solved. That day comes and goes, several things are going on that need doing, so we don't realise they haven't called us back till the next day. Very concerning. So we're trying to get in contact with either company to contact and find out what went on and when can we get the internet up and running, and they go, right, how about a month later? This is TacTac, by the way. This doesn't really work, but it's a start, and what I really want to know now is knowledge on what happened and how it went wrong. It was TacTac's fault, as it turns out. Now, here's important information that probably should be relevant here. You can't cancel these things within 24 hours of it happening, and we'd gotten a confirmation message within 24 hours of it happening. Basically, our order should not have been cancelable. That's a weird word, but hey, which is interesting. So, we're at a mate's house to borrow their internet for a day, to get in contact with the two companies, because, well, how do I put this? Calling's fairly inefficient, and both of them have customer support on their service. Wonderful. But while in contact with Reach Open, I learnt something. They don't keep information on the people they're installing the internet to. Fair enough, it's privacy policy, they don't need to. So as far as they're concerned, we don't exist, and they can't help us. I mean, other than the one call that went wrong, they've been incredibly helpful and very convenient, and informed us of things that TacTac refused to inform us of that we could do. Now, did it make a difference in the end? No, not really, but still. So TacTac is the one who we have to do, and they were the opposite of helpful. They just ran us in circles, didn't inform us of things we could do. But hey, now I have internet, and all stuff is up and running. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the drawing that finished partway through, and summary of the no good, very bad internet provider. Thanks for listening. Feel free to like and subscribe and all that.